So I wanted to give you a house and land update. It's been a big year in 2020 for grants associated both state and nationally for first home builders, or builders in general, to be honest, as in homeowners. There's been anywhere from 10 to 20k state grant as well on top of that, which depends on which state you're in as to how much you've been getting and whether it's regional or city. That's also dependent on state. And also there's no stamp duty payable if you're going to buy some land and then build on it, as long as you're under the threshold particular to your state, and that is also for new build, but also existing for first home buyers. So for the first home buyers, it's been a pretty attractive year if you've been able to maintain your job and still be appealing to the banks, still keep your deposits, but then take advantage of anywhere up to 45k really, plus no stamp duty. So it could have been a savings of almost 60 grand. Now, the question is, was it a savings? And will it continue to be a savings? Well, Victoria and South Australia have been extended, so you've got a little bit longer to get your house built if you're going to proceed with something like that. Generally speaking, my view is the decent land is already been consumed and sold. Okay, so if you're in the market and you've qualified and you've got your 45k or up to worth of grants, early on in the stage, well done. You've cleaned up pretty well. As long as you've had control over your build contract and the inclusions and the prices that you've paid for that as well. If you're trying to get in now and rush to get those grants, I'm saying there's probably not a lot of good land available there to do that. There's probably going to be, if there is titled land still available, is a good question that it's going to be, or a good chance it's going to be sloping, or it's in undesirable locations, etc., etc. So you don't want to play that game, I don't believe, just for the sake of some free money, free handouts from the government. So I think on that, the proof will be in the pudding as to what will happen in the next 12 months. I see a little bit of, I've bought this, I've taken advantage of my grants, I'm going to live in it for 6 to 12 months to qualify and get those grants in my pocket, and then I'll potentially rent that property out. Okay. Now, if as many people are doing that as what I think, what does that mean for the area or the estate that you've potentially built in? It means that there's going to be a lot of properties up for rent in 12 months' time, and there's going to be and maybe an oversupply of investor homes there on the market, or not on the market, but available for rent. Okay, so that owner-occupier / investor ratio that we look at, and we want ideally 70% to 80% owner-occupier in that region or in that estate that we're building in. If that's 80-20 at the moment, it could well come up and turn around into maybe a 60-40, which isn't ideal. Okay, now for those that are already in, look, there's not much you can do about that, but just be aware of that. And anyone going forward thinking, yeah, I might get into some house and land because there's no stamp duty and there's a few other concessions available, the national grant will go, but the state grants will probably still remain. So there's still some grants that are available. So my recommendation going forward is you've got to be very selective on where you're going to do that. Okay, now we help clients get into that and help them do that and do that well, but we're very selective as to where we go with that. Okay, so hope that all makes sense. A lot of information to consume, a lot of things to think about, but yeah, hopefully it's been valuable for you today.